Welcome back to Let's Talk here on Houston City Beat. I'm Micah Acosta. Tonight, we have gentlemen from the Texas Railway Preservation Association here talking about a very important issue going on in Houston that they need some help with and how the public can get involved. We have Micah Rogers, the executive director, and Jacob Driscoll, the vice president. Gentlemen, welcome on into Let's Talk.
Hi, it's very nice to be here. Thank you so much for inviting us.
So tonight, we are talking about the Southern Pacific 982 locomotive. And to a lot of people in Houston, that name may not ring a bell, but then all of a sudden, and we're going to show some pictures here, we're going to overlay the pictures of the locomotive. You will recognize this because this train has been in Houston since 1957. I remember seeing it as a kid just outside the Hermann Park Zoo, right there by the little kid train station. It was there for many years. It was on Texas Avenue, just outside of the ballpark there for many years. And now it is stored off of navigation. And it has been waiting for its new permanent home. So you guys here are to talk about that and some of the awareness. So tell me, what is going on with the 982 locomotive?
Absolutely. So just starting off, I mean, since 1987, the TRPA has been responsible for caretaking the locomotive and ensuring that it's not just aesthetically pleasing, but most importantly, that it's capable of a future because it was donated to the city in actually a very pristine condition, mechanically, aesthetically, and it had a lot of potential. Right now, what's going on is that we have prepared the locomotive entirely to relocate. That could be done by rail, that could be done by road, but either way, we made sure that it was mechanically sound and capable of doing that. The other thing that's going on is we're fundraising because that relocation is pretty expensive. But in lieu of the situation that's going on right now and just where we're at in the timeline of things, we are more than prepared and we're ready to get the engine to a home that we've thankfully got negotiated out. And at that home, that's where that locomotive is going to get restored.
Yeah. And that's a lot of work to anytime you're dealing with something that needs restoration, especially a locomotive that is, a huge locomotive at that as well, takes up a lot of work. Micah, Jacob, you are the gentleman who is really working on the outreach in the public. Tell me some of the things that you're wanting to do as an organization to get this train back out there in the public's eye.
Absolutely. So one of our major focuses when it comes to getting the public involved is programs that revolve around STEM education, hands-on learning, and just overall a space for anybody with any form of trade or skill to put that to work. There's a plethora of mathematics behind every steam locomotive. Every square inch is accounted for. Every small pressure gauge has a greater meaning. We would love to take the mathematicians, the physicists of Houston, the welders, the plumbers, everybody, and bring them into one place for the purpose of the 982 and what her goal is and what she represents to the city of Houston.
Yeah, I mean, the rail industry has been crucial to the development of Houston for a very, very long time. There's a train locomotive in the city seal. So, and this locomotive, which has been tied to, I mean, there's pictures of this train when it was at Hermann Park, right there by the Sam Houston statue, there at the zoo, like I was mentioning earlier, right there on Texas Avenue next to Union Station, which was like the airport of yesteryear from 1911 to 1974. This train is very closely connected and symbolizes the spirit and history of Houston. So it is very important for people to get involved with this. What is your vision, if you can kind of explain it in a few words? What is your vision for this locomotive?
Absolutely. So, I mean, first of all, for the locomotive, right? The locomotive obviously has a massive legacy and a heritage within Houston. So, that being said, the first goal, as far as the locomotive goes, is making sure that it goes through the entire restoration. It's going to be operational. This locomotive is not destined to be an exhibit anymore. We're past that. So, it'll be under the restoration. It'll go into operation. But with that locomotive, we also have to balance building a train set for it. So having a
Mm-hmm.
tool car, having a galley car, and then, of course, what are the cars going to be for the public, right? The ridership, the entertainment, and all those things. And we're approaching that in a little bit of a different way. But ultimately, the locomotive will run in the Houston greater region area. Of course, we would love to run further if we can. It's not
Yeah.
up to us, unfortunately. But we do know that we can propose pretty solid plans to do that. So it would be awesome to run to places, maybe for example, like Katy or Tomball or Rosenberg or
Yeah.
Galveston. I think a lot of people in Houston, including myself, I grew up in Houston. The same exact place you mentioned where the locomotive was. That's where I found it, and so I would love to go to those places with it. Beyond that, though, it's not just about the 982. It's really also about that major impact of the TRPA. So even for it, while the locomotive is in restoration and even after it's been restored, we'll keep growing that equipment. And we're one of the very few museums in Texas where all of our equipment we actually destine or predestined rather to it has to operate. No, we don't have any static displays here, and they'll all run in this region.
So So when did you see when Big Boy came to town back in I think it was October, November of last year?
Yeah, the big boy in the CPKC 2816, absolutely.
There was a lot of excitement around that. And if you have this 982 locomotive here, which is huge. It's not as big as the Big Boy locomotive, but that generated so much excitement around the area, coming through Navasota and College Station and Hempstead and down to the Amtrak station in Houston. There were so many people who came by to see it. If 982 was up and running and could provide rides and entertainment for something that is a tourist type of place to go, that would be huge for Houston.
Massive, massive. I mean, if we were to just talk quickly about some metrics, I mean, what I do know in the industry is that the big boy alone, on both of the times I visited Houston, I mean, we're talking of upwards just 5,000 people just to go look at it. They couldn't even ride it. The 2816, I mean, we were there actually. We was a part of that event. We got to do a beautiful corporate event for them privately and serve them food. And even in that, I mean, we watched the crowds in Houston. It was ridiculous. And that for us confirmed what we already kind of knew, but we really knew it when we saw how many people care about that steam heritage and the fact that most Houstonians, they don't get any train experience. They don't get to see a steam locomotive. They definitely don't get to ride one. You have to drive almost 5 hours away in any direction to do that. So we have to provide that opportunity if we have it.
So if anybody wants to see the locomotive right now, 982, is it where people can actually see it? If are they allowed to come see it?
Good question, 100%. So I'm so happy you asked that. The very first thing we did was we had to unwrap it because for almost 5 or 6 years nobody could see it. That
Yeah.
irritated us too. So we got it unwrapped. If you go to 35 or 3405 Navigation Boulevard, it's perfectly placed on a storage track behind a fence very safely. And yeah, absolutely. We encourage anybody to go over there. Just stay out of the way of the loading trucks that are over there because that's not our property. But yes, it is 100% on display for everyone to see. And we'll keep it that way for the rest of its life, anywhere we put it.
That's amazing. And so Jacob, I know we you dropped out there for a quick second with the signal, but we were just talking about having this locomotive as part of something that people can do in Houston, and people really being able to see it. Do you work with some of the rail clubs or anything like that in Houston right now? I know that there's a lot of people that are into from anything with trains in Houston.
So I don't work with any of the other organizations around Houston. TRPA is my primary focus in the Gulf Coast, but I have spent time with organizations like the Austin Steam Train. They have been a great deal of support, to the overall mission of our organization. I do have a bit of experience as far as working around these types of heavy equipment.
Yeah. So where can give me the website so that way people can find out more about the Texas Railway Preservation Association. I know you guys are on Facebook. Where else can they find you online and social media?
Man, we've done actually a lot. You can find us on Facebook, obviously. You can find us on YouTube. We haven't posted a video yet, but we actually have a really good video coming out in August when we debut our master plan video after our gala. You could find us on X. You can find us at trpahouston.org, of course. And I'm thinking probably after the gala, we will for sure be ready to roll out a brand new website. And we're working really hard on that to try to make it interactive and give information that I don't think a lot of Texans really know about their rail heritage. So
Yeah.
yeah, those are some of the places you can find us, but really we're almost everywhere, including blue sky.
Great. So you want the public to get involved, to know more about this. And of course, I know there's a lot of people out there who were around this locomotive as kids and adults, and they took their kids, and that locomotive has been around a lot of generations of Houstonians. So I personally would love it as a native Houstonian. I would love to see that train. And Micah, you were talking, I've always thought of that train as just on display. And you got me really excited by saying you actually want to get this engine going to where people can ride and really enjoy it. I mean, that would be just a major accomplishment. So you want to get the public involved. Gentlemen, I thank you for joining us tonight here on Let's Talk. Please stay in touch with us and keep us updated on what is going on with the 982 locomotive. And thank you so much, Micah and Jacob, for joining us tonight.
I really have to say, Mike, thank you. We really need the support. We appreciate any and everybody, and we're reaching out to everybody. So I couldn't express it more. We really appreciate the opportunity to be able to explain this story a little bit better.
Great. And can you give that website just one more time so people can find it? It's on our scroll at the bottom too.
Absolutely. TRPAhouston.org.
Awesome. Well, that's Micah Rogers and Jacob Driscoll from the Texas Railway Preservation Association. That's all we have for Let's Talk tonight. Till next time, so long, everybody.